Hi guys, welcome back to another video. As you can tell, I'm not in my normal location. I am actually on vacation right now. I'm so excited. I am in France for a couple of days with my family and I'm so excited. The weather is currently really shit, so I'm excited to probably just spend the next couple of days inside and reading. We are staying in the most gorgeous holiday flat. I am going to show it to you in a bit because it's super stunning. Like, if this was my flat, I would be so happy. I would have made it. Like, if this was my house, I would be so happy. The decoration is insane. Like, I'm obsessed with it. But yeah, I'm super excited to be here. It's just a little like Pentecost getaway, so nothing too fancy. We're not too far away from home. Just like at the border of France and Germany. And yeah, we're here for a couple of days and I'm super excited. I'm still gonna be doing some uni work, but I am excited to do a lot of reading because I did bring some books with me. So let me show you the books that I brought. So I bought the book that I am currently reading, and that is Utopia Avenue by David Mitchell. I am 188 pages into this and I'm really enjoying it. Like, it's definitely slower than I anticipated. It is a bit of like I don't know, it's a bit more of a complex read, I would say. It's quite complex. It has a lot of like characters' POVs, so it did take me a while to get into it and to like properly start comprehending all of the different characters. Well, obviously it's a bit historical because we are, I believe, in the 1960s. Yeah, we're in the 1960s, so it did take me a little bit of time to get used to kind of the setting, but I am really enjoying it. It's so well written and the characters feel really complex. Like, they feel very fleshed out and very multifaceted, I would say. We're basically following these four very unlikely musicians that are put together by like a band manager because he believes that they will be a great band. But they do not know each other before then. They aren't friends. They're not like super alike in character. We have like one folk singer, we have a bassist, we have a really eccentric, kind of almost psychotic guitar player, and I would say a very grumpy drums player. What is that called? A drummer. Not English failing me there for a second. But yeah, so we have these four very unlikely musicians that come together and form this band called Utopia Avenue, and it's about their kind of like rise to fame. It's very slow in comparison. If you're wondering how this like compares to Daisy Jones, I would say that the rise to success in this is a lot slower and the way is a lot harder. I feel like in Daisy Jones we kind of rise to fame within the first maybe 80 pages of the book. Here I'm like about 200 pages in and we are like just starting to get some attention on the band, so it is a bit of a slower start. I feel like it's less focused on romances because I feel like although Daisy Jones and the Six is not a romance novel at all, and I don't want to say that it is because I don't think it is, it does follow the romantic relationships of the characters a lot more and it is more focused on that, whereas I believe in this one the focus is more on the characters themselves and not necessarily relationships that the characters have, which I really like. I think it gives me a lot of like, it's something else. It gives me a little bit of variety from a lot of the things that I read usually, which are very romance heavy. So I'm really quite enjoying that and I am excited to continue this. Although I believe I might read something parallel to this because this is just a read that's going to take me a long time because it is so dense, it is so complex, it's not a fast read. It takes me like twice as long to read a single page as like I usually would read. So it is complex and I might pick something up, like something lighter alongside, just so I feel like I'm actually getting through my TBR, because this could take me till the end of May. I'm not gonna lie. I might read this until the end of the month and I don't really want to do that. Next, I have two more books from my TBR that I haven't started yet, but that I brought in the hopes that I will find the time here to read them. The first one being Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I picked this one for my May TBR because it has been on my TBR forever. I think I've had this for 2 years at this point, and I think it's a great vacation read because it gives me vacation vibes. Like, does this cover with the like woman with the sunglasses and palm trees not give you vacation vibes? Although it's not nice weather here right now, it's like pouring rain outside at this very minute, but I'm still excited to read this on my vacation. I think it'll be a very easy romance, and like everything I said about Utopia Avenue, that like Utopia Avenue is like different from, this is that other category of books that I read, which is like easy romance novels, just something fun and quick and easy, and I'm hoping that will be this book. And last but not least, I brought a third book with me, and that is Queenie by Candice Carty-Williams. This is, I think, like a literary fiction / romance, coming of age, sort of, about a black woman living in London who is going through a breakup, I think. That's all I know about it, really, but I've heard really, really great things about this. I think it's going to be really relatable and very real. I'm expecting this to be very raw and real and just very realistic in the way that it's written, and to just touch on some very hard subjects like being a black woman, going through a breakup, going through hardships in life, and like figuring yourself out in your 20s. I'm expecting that. I don't actually know if that's what this is about, but I'm hoping it is, because that would be amazing, and this sounds really good. And I know that some of my friends have really enjoyed this, so I'm excited to read that. So those are the 3 books that I brought with me, and I'm very excited to read them. But before I get to reading, let me show you the holiday apartment that we're staying in, because I think it's beautiful and you should see it. I do apologize for the bad lighting. I know it's incredibly dark in here. It's just that the weather is shit, and the clouds at the moment, like the sky is so grey at the moment, so there's not really any light getting in, but I'm hoping we can live with that and I can still show you the place because it's absolutely gorgeous. So this is like the dining area, and then we have the kitchen. We've already kind of spread our stuff, so please don't care about the mess, but it's so beautiful. And then on the other side, we have like the living room, and I think it's so beautiful. Like, it's so gorgeous. Like, can you just imagine like sitting there and reading? I'm obsessed. Like, it's literally so cute with all the plants too. Like, it just looks so pretty. I'm obsessed. Oh my god, I love this corner. I really want to film something there. Maybe I should film my next update like in that corner, because I think it's so beautiful. Oh my god, how cute is this as like a video spot? I'm actually obsessed. Oh my god. Anyways, I was just going to say that obviously, since the flat is so cute, I'm definitely going to be reading in the living room right now. So I've got my book. I'm so excited to read this. I'm really, really excited. I read some more on the on the drive here, and I was having a really good time. So I think, since it's really raining right now and my whole family is out doing some grocery shopping, I think I'm just gonna sit here and read this book, and also my friend's bachelor's thesis, because she did just send it to me to proofread. So I'm going to switch between the thesis and the book to read, and I'm excited. I think this sounds like a perfect first day on vacation. Hopefully the weather is a bit better tomorrow so that we can actually go out and kind of explore where we are, and I will definitely bring you along and film some clips here and there of our trip. But I am traveling with my family, so I'm not sure how much filming I'll be doing, but I will definitely give you updates whenever I get to do some reading and whenever we're out to like see some exciting things. So yeah, I'm excited to have you guys with me and to explore France a little bit. So let's have a great holiday. Let's spend some time together and yeah, have fun with the video, and thank you for watching. So, good morning guys. It is now day 2 of a little staycation. We just went and did some exploring last night. We went around town. It was absolutely beautiful. I filmed some clips. It's like the most beautiful fairy tale town that we're staying in. So it was really, really beautiful, really gorgeous. And I'm actually obsessed. I think it's perfect reading retreat vibes. I did a little bit more reading of Utopia Avenue last night. I'm really trying to engross myself in the story so that I can read it like relatively fast and so that I can get into the story and like just be immersed, and I'm really enjoying it. They're now like rising to fame a lot more, which I'm enjoying because I think that is like my favorite part. As much as I love the realism of like failing at first, I do just prefer when everything is going well for the band and like they're having hit singles. And you know, I love a story like this. I'm a massive music fan, as you can tell. That wasn't planned, but I am wearing a band tee right now. So I'm just a massive music fan, and so stories about bands and like rising to fame, writing songs, writing music are just my favourite. So yeah, I'm not sure what we're doing today, but I'm going to take you along and I will update you when I actually read like a lot more of this and have more to talk about, because I'm still only on like page like 210-ish. Okay, hi guys, update time. It has been like a few days on vacation. We've done so much. We've visited a couple of like towns in the area. We've done a really nice hike. I filmed a lot of clips, so you will have seen that. But I did also do some reading. Honestly, not as much as I wanted to. It's because a lot of the times when like we got back home from trips, I was just so tired that I took a nap immediately. But I did make some progress on Utopia Avenue. As you can tell, I only have like this much left, so it's only about probably like 100 pages left. So I am going to try and finish this today. I'm going to try and sit down tonight and finish this, but I can already tell you kind of like my thoughts on it because I've read the majority of it. I've read 430 pages. So I know how I feel. I've established kind of like my opinion. The consensus is that I am really enjoying it. Like I am liking it, but there are a few things that are just signs to me that it's probably not a 5-star, but probably more of like a 4-star. Some of them are like, there's quite a lot of characters and I feel like there's just like an overwhelming amount of characters. We have 4 main characters with like point of views, and all of them have like a ton of family members that get mentioned by name, and it's just sometimes a bit hard to keep track of. Like I am trying my hardest and I am really engrossed in the story, but sometimes I'm just finding it a bit hard to keep track of. But I think what is bothering me more is the timeline. It's not necessarily like not like linear. It's not non-linear, I wouldn't say, but sometimes between like POVs there's a bit of a time jump. So for example, we will get a POV from like the guitarist and he will mention something that happens to, let's say, the keyboardist, and she will then like experience that in her own POV after, but because it's already been kind of like explained and like teased in like the guitarist's point of view, we already kind of knew that was going to happen. And this happened like with some like character like deaths.
Like, some of the side characters dying was literally mentioned, and then only later did we get, like, the actual, like, fleshed out version of it, which I found really, like, anticlimactic, because that way, a lot of the times that some, like, major plot point happened, we would already know that it was going to happen. Like, we already knew before, and we got told in a really anticlimactic way. And this didn't only happen once, like, it happened quite a few times with quite major plot points, which I just feel like isn't the best way to tell a story, because I think it's a deliberate choice. Like, obviously this was done on purpose, but I don't like it, because I feel like it takes a lot of the tension out of the story. Like, how am I meant to, like, be shocked that this character died if you literally told me in passing, like, 2 chapters ago? How am I meant to be shocked? How am I meant to be surprised? So yeah, that's something that's really bothering me. I also feel like some storylines are never quite finished. I feel like there's quite a lot of loose ends in the story. Like, there's one scene where Dean, our guitarist, is he the guitarist? He's the bassist, I think. Where Dean, the bassist, racks up quite a high amount of, like, debt, and it is never explained how he pays back that debt. Like, it is just not mentioned again, and I just find that really unsatisfying. I find the kind of non-linearity and, like, the many time jumps quite unsatisfying, because it feels like a lot of the storylines are not quite wrapped up. So yeah, there's just some things that bother me that I know are deliberate choices. I don't think it's bad writing. I don't think that this was, like, badly written, or that David Mitchell didn't think this through. I don't think that. I think these are deliberate choices that I'm just not vibing with, because they're not quite my taste. I quite like a very linearly told story. I quite like it when everything's nicely wrapped up with a bow around it, and, like, everything fits together. And this is just a bit more complex, a bit more kind of, like, picked apart and put together. So if you like that kind of story, and I think it does suit the, like, topic of, like, the band and the many POVs and everything, sure. But for me, it's just what's keeping me from, like, enjoying this, like, 100% and giving it, like, 5 stars. It's just that I am not loving the way it's being written, like, the, not necessarily the writing style, but just kind of, like, the ordering and the way that the story fits together. I'm just not obsessed with it. But yeah, I will be reading it now. I will be trying to finish this tonight. I'm going to do my very, very best to read this tonight and finish it. We are leaving tomorrow, so I am unsure how much I'll read of the rest of my TBR. I'm a bit disappointed that I didn't get to read Queenie and Maybe in Another Life, but it is just because this is a massive book. Like, I've still done, like, all of this reading pretty much, so I still read a lot, and, like, considering I'm in sort of like a half reading slump at the moment, that is a really big success. And if I just finish this one today, I will count it and consider it as a success. But obviously I was hoping to get through some more of my May TBR, but I will definitely try to finish the rest of my May TBR in, like, the remaining, 10-ish days? I think it's 10 days of May. So I'm going to try and read as much of the rest of my TBR then, but for tonight we will focus on this one and we'll finish it. And now I've chatted way too much, so I'm going to get to reading this one. Okay, hi guys, welcome back. I am officially back home for my little vacation. I did not end up reading all that much this trip as I anticipated. Like, I really thought I was going to be reading, like, 3 books this week. I obviously did not, but I did finish 1 book this week, and that was Utopia Avenue by David Mitchell. And I'm here to give you my final thoughts and opinions about the book. So this for me was like a 5-star prediction. I had anticipated this to be 5 stars because in, like, the premise, it is very similar to my favorite book of all time, which is Daisy Jones and the Six. So I thought that this was going to be, like, very similar. It definitely deals with, like, a very similar subject matter, like the formation of a band until it's kind of like
you know, end is definitely like the main topic in this, so that is very similar to Daisy Jones and the Six. But I would say that the writing style and the way that this is written differs like massively. Like it's not too similar in any way, which I think is good because it's not like you're reading the same story twice. It is very distinct. I would say this one is less focused on any like romantic relationships. I think we get a lot more of relationships, like different ones, not just one, but like multiple relationships in Daisy Jones and the Six. In this one, it's really not that focused on romantic relationships. We have a couple that are mentioned on the side, but this is more about, I think, each character's introspective journey, which is nice. But I also think that this book is a lot more about the character's own path than in Daisy Jones and the Six, because Daisy Jones and the Six was always a story of a band. I feel like this is more the story of 4 individuals that are in a band together, if that makes any sense. I'm not sure. But I wish in this one we had more of like the band sessions, like the writing sessions, recording sessions, tours and shows. We get a couple, but it feels like they're not the focus of the book. It feels like they're not like the main thing, which does work for the book. It works for it. It's just different to my expectations. So I wish it had a little bit more of like the touring aspect, the recording aspect, and just more scenes where all of the characters come together and act together. Yeah, it felt like a lot of the book was focused on like each character's individual path rather than their path as a band, if that makes sense. I also think that Griff, the drummer of the band, was like criminally underrated and did not get like a lot of page time. Like he literally got like 1 or 2 chapters, I think, at most. And I just feel like if you're writing a book about a band of 4, why would you only write about 3 of the characters? It makes no sense to me why they rarely ever included Griff in the chapters and just rarely ever wrote about him. Like I'm just like, why would you make that character so underrated in the book? And like, why not give him more time to shine and like more character? I don't know, I don't understand, but yeah. And then what I previously said about how the non-linearity wasn't really my thing, I still stand by that. I think that is the thing that took away the most enjoyment for me, as well as there were just some storylines that diverged quite a lot from being in a band and delve more into things like psychosis, schizophrenia, even some sort of supernatural stuff, which I wasn't expecting. And I think because I didn't expect it, I wasn't really open to it. I think because I was expecting something really different, I wasn't really open to supernatural stuff in this book. I don't know. Also the ending. What was that ending? I didn't see coming. That was one thing that wasn't foreshadowed, which I'm like, okay, it came so abruptly. I didn't believe it for a second, and then it was the ending, and I was like, what the fuck? So there were a couple of things where I was like, and like, I've just said a lot of negative things. I just said a lot of negative things. I still really enjoyed this book, and I am giving it this 4 stars. So I am still really liking it, but because this was a 5-star prediction, I just expected to like this more than I did. I just thought that this would be like an all-time favorite, and I don't think it will be. I think it will be a book that I recommend to people, but I will always give the disclaimer that it wasn't an all-time favorite for me, and that there are things about this book that I disliked. So yeah, but those are my final thoughts. I'm gonna give this one 4 stars. I'm glad I read it because I think it is a very iconic book, and I think it is incredibly well written and well done, and like it has created such a world and such a band that feels so real. So again, just like Daisy Jones and the Six, this book feels very, very realistic and incredibly real. Unfortunately, I just still think that the way Daisy Jones is written, I much preferred, and the way that Daisy Jones dealt with like the band, the music, and like the career talk, it was more my thing than in this one. But nonetheless, I would definitely recommend this to people who want to read something that is in genre similar to Daisy Jones and they like couldn't get enough of the like band thing. If you like classic rock or like 70s, 60s, 70s rock. And especially if you know a lot about the music scene, you will like this because they mention a lot of real musicians. Like they meet like Jimi Hendrix or Frank Zappa or I don't know, the Rolling Stones and everything in this. Like he runs into John Lennon at a party or something. So it's really fun if you really like classic rock because you will recognize a bunch of names. But yeah, just not an all-time favorite for me. But maybe for some of you, I don't know. Anyways, I am really, really shattered after the drive home. I'm really exhausted, so I'm going to take a break, sort out my laundry, and probably take a nap because I'm tired. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed coming on vacation with me and spending a little bit of time in France with me. And hopefully I will very, very soon film my TBR for the next month and also my wrap-up of April and May, because I think I will do a combined wrap-up for those 2 months. So those videos should be coming soon. Keep an eye out for those and see you then. Bye bye.